Well, I find it quite extraordinary. I'm embarrassed. This government, this Labor government, are a fucking embarrassment on the international stage. The refusal to allow our air bases, including Diego Garcia, which is, as you know, is at the height of a controversy about the Chagos Islands, and the refusing to allow American aircraft to use that base for the initial attacks on Iran, and also the closure of British bases for offensive attacks by American aircraft. I found appalling, and I mentioned it yesterday. I think you're fucking shameful. I mean, this government should be ashamed of themselves. And we all saw Donald Trump's news conference yesterday. He had the Chancellor of Germany was over there too, and sitting in the Oval Office, and the President was taking questions. And he was ashamed of Britain. And he said, you know, as I mentioned before, and we all know now, that Starmer is no Winston Churchill. And interestingly, further on to that discussion, one of the reporters from one of the talk radio stations went out on the campus of one of the universities around London this morning to talk to students about Churchill and what are some of the things about Churchill and what Donald Trump said. And one guy said, well, I don't know what you mean, Churchill. Well, what did Churchill do? And he said, but you do know who Sir Winston Churchill was? He said, no, not really. I don't know. He's a fucking student at a university. I went, oh, fuck. This typifies fucking students today. I mean, a lot of them don't even know the fucking history of the Second World War. Dumb as a box of rocks. Not all of them. The really good ones are all on University Challenge, one of my favourite programs. But anyway, going back to this current war in Iran, the Americans and the Israelis have total air power, total domination over the whole of Iran. And slowly but surely they are degrading their ability to launch the drones and the missiles. That will happen, and it will take time, but it will happen, because every time they fire one, they can track them back with satellites and all the other good stuff they've got to where they were fired from. So they're degrading that at a rapid rate. The number of leaders of the dreadful regime, by the way, every time they pop their head up, it's getting blown off. And nobody should cry over the death of that Ayatollah. What a fucking horrible man he was. I was reading an article about this, and the number of people that have died because of that terrible regime since 1979. Nobody knows the exact numbers killed by the regime. If you protested or were anti-Iranian, you were killed and women in particular, in the most violent of ways. This fucking regime are an absolute disgrace, and cowards, treating women like beyond. The only other thing I can think of in comparison is those gutless wonders in Afghanistan, the Taliban. Fucking the way they treat women. These brave men with their AK-47s. What a shame that war finished in such a bloody catastrophe, led by the Biden administration, and the way that finished up. What a fucking disgrace that was. And the Democrats, you ought to be a fucking ashamed of yourself. Never mind at the moment sitting back and going, oh, we don't want this to happen we don't like what's going on, and we don't like what Donald Trump's doing. At least he has the guts to do it. You lot, what did you do? Send bloody billions of dollars back to this terrible regime. Terrible. And then decided, oh, well, we'll let them get a nuclear program because we won't get nuclear weapons because you can trust us. Fuck me. That's how fucking dumb the administration was under the Democrats. They actually believe what these guys said. What the hell are they enriching uranium for, you silly bastards? To make a fucking nuclear weapon. And what were they going to do with that nuclear weapon? Should they have got it, they would have. The first one they would have fired would have been to wipe out Israel. They've avowed that for years and years and years. And as for this bloody Prime Minister of ours, who I can tolerate or stand, I can't stand seeing him or his front bench. But they're sitting there in question time, and you've got him and that David Lammy and that woman, what's the Home Secretary. There's just something about them that fucking makes me want to cringe. I'm cringy, scungy. I don't know what to say really, but it's fucking appalling. Bring back Margaret Thatcher. What we need is somebody over here with a set. Oh, I know, Sir Winston Churchill. Look, I'm not saying he was perfect. He made some terrible decisions during his lifetime, but he also made some very important ones at a time when we really needed it, 1939-40. Okay, let's just not fucking forget. And what a great speaker he was. Whereas our Prime Minister now, and oh my God, just makes me skin crawl. And I just, just want to throw up. Anyway, the American bases are now open. The government have decided they can use them. Oh, that's really fucking nice of you. I mean, how pathetic that the Americans couldn't use Diego Garcia and also the bases here in the UK, particularly RAF Fairford in Gloucestershire, which has got the 10,000-foot runway and capable of carrying all the big American bombers. They will be landing here in the next few days, by the way. And, I think it's fun. You know what the Americans should have done was said, we're going to send the bombers over there anyway. What are you going to fucking do about it? We're so fucking toothless and gutless over here. We haven't even got capability now in the Gulf, in the Red Sea, out in the Mediterranean. We've got no fucking capability at all. We're finally going to send a destroyer down to help the people in Cyprus against attacks if this war continues much longer from the Iranian drones, etc. Oh, HMS Dragon, I think it's called. But she's still in Portsmouth Harbour, and she's going to be there for at least another week, and it takes a week to travel down there. So we have got nothing. This our wonderful blue water navy that was once the pride of the fucking world, and at one stage the biggest in the world. And after the Second World War, they've cut. And it's not just this government, but previous Conservative governments. You're just as much to fucking blame. Cut. And now our military is a fucking joke. A joke. The Ukrainians are being asked to help with the anti-drone capability in the Middle East now. Experts from Ukraine, who probably lead the world in drone technology and anti-drone technology, have been asked to go down there and help the friendlies down there. Isn't that incredible? Slava Ukraini, I haven't forgotten about you, by the way, and what's going on in that war. You're doing an amazing job, and we support you strongly, and I wish Donald Trump did as well, because that war could be over really quick, because Russia, in a conventional sense, is useless. And also to these newspapers that keep putting out graphs of how many nuclear weapons these various countries have got. Nobody gives a shit. How many nuclear weapons do you need? 6,000 or 5,000 or 500? You don't need many to wipe out the fucking world. That's a stupid, ridiculous thing, the comparison of how many nuclear weapons you've got. First of all, you've got to deliver them. And secondly, you deliver them and somebody else is going to deliver some back. And how many are you going to fucking... You don't need that many. Mutually assured destruction, you dipshits. So stop doing it and stop it. And also, I notice China is taking the high ground now. She finds this war illegal. Oh, yes, of course she does. And Russia, this war's illegal. What a fucking joke. And the United Nations, what a joke. Useless and toothless. Absolutely fucking waste of space. But I'll tell you what, the Ukrainians, the Israelis and the Americans together, they're my fucking heroes at the moment. I'm proud to be British, but now under this government I'm fucking embarrassed. What's wrong with this government? Why are they like this with regard to this terrible conflict? Do you know how many people were killed by this regime in Iran over the last 46 years, 47 years? We don't know the numbers. We will probably never know the numbers. But you're looking at 40 to 50,000, maybe even more. And some in the most brutal way, particularly women. And where are all the women's rights activists out there, going out and supporting the Iranians that they've all gone back and zip? And the pro-Palestinians, why aren't you protesting for the Iranian people who need their freedom from this terrible, terrible regime? Quiet, you terrible, gutless people. I'm ashamed. I am totally fucking ashamed of all of them. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Anyway, well done to the Americans and the Israelis who are continuing their campaign. The people are saying, oh, it's not going very well in Iran, this and Iran, that, and they're firing these fucking drones and missiles indiscriminately at any country they can find one on the fucking map. They let a missile go, making friends all around the world. Good public relations, by the way, to Iran. And anybody who takes over the leadership are going to be looking over their shoulder every time they turn around. There's a cruise missile coming through the bedroom window. Anyway, that's my rant for this Wednesday afternoon. I didn't post earlier because I was at the hospital last night having another MRI scan, which I fucking hate, by the way. But anyway, it's done now. Love you all. Thanks a lot.